Hello, dear friends, my lovely audience. Welcome to the East-West Show. Jack Chow on the East-West with the G&E TV. 2 days ago, we had an event in our facility, Cultural Center. Lots of people came, and we talked about California. We basically focused on to California laws. We had a question when we started, and till the end, the questions were answered. Is California being business friendly? The answer is no, never. And the answer gets even worse, it's even hostile to business. So for me, my basic understanding, I have no law background, I have no business background, I have nothing but this, right? So to my understanding, it's very, very, very kind of a common sense that laws are protections for good guys, right? It deters the bad guys and punish the worst. Am I right?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Now, so when people start to feel otherwise, well, when good people feel kind of, oh my God, being pushed, or they feel to the extent they are getting strangled, I would say, without questioning, something is wrong and fundamentally wrong. Am I right? Mm-hmm. Okay, now, so the forum, the discussion, the event was a forum in the title, Shakedown Lawsuits are Strangling California. So we use that as the same title for our show on the screen you see now. Today joining me is my good friend, Mr. Bruce Bloom. He is a business owner in Hollywood. He is doing hardware. In the hardware business, he has several shops. And he was one of the speakers at the event, not speaker. Let me rephrase it. He was among the audiences, and he popped up himself saying, I have to talk. So he, just brought his story. The story was so convincing that it gives you a window to look into to see how bad California laws are and how business are seriously hurt. So with that as a lead line, which seems to be lengthy, welcome to Mr. Bloom to the show.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
So what was your impression about the event that day?
Well, it's very informative because the specific law we're talking is about Prop 65. Mm-hmm. And Prop 65 basically is a law that supposedly protects the consumers, mm-hmm. and but was written by attorneys. And so on the face of it, it sounds informative that you're supposed to tell people that the products that you have cancer or could affect some health issues. Mm-hmm. However, what has basically resulted from this is attorneys going after small businesses with lawsuits to say that the product that they're selling doesn't inform the public that the product is harmful. However, all other 49 states sell the product. There's no restrictions on these, or 49 states plus the rest of the world. So it's not just in California, right. Or the rest of the United States. So basically, these products are deemed that these chemicals can harm you. But in reality, very rarely, you can't predict 50 or 20 or 30 years from today how these products are going to affect your health and which product harmed you.
And in which way.
And which way. And you have no way of knowing that a specific product that you touch today is going to affect you 30 years from today. And then so some of these attorneys go after small businesses like it says, I'm trying to provide a service to
I
customers.
really lots of my audience have seen it on the news, on the paper, or by the paper. By the way, there's a landslide of news coverage of the event. Mm-hmm. Well, and I'm even I myself, one of the organizers, get excited to see the feedback, the respond to that event. That itself indicates the call of people, of citizens, to overturn the California laws has a huge market. We can sell it. We can easily sell it. Because recall that the event, lots of people say, I'm a business owner, I was a kid.
Right.
And I was asking as I was MC, say anybody was not hit.
Right.
There's none.
Right.
Right? Everybody is hit, right? So basically we're talking about in California, we got to do a little longer story to our audiences in case they are in the dark of it. They are totally benighted.
Right.
Right. So when was, do you have any knowledge of when was Proposition 65 created?
It was, and again, don't quote
Yeah,
me
I know,
on
I
this,
know,
but it was like the 90s or the late 80s that it was a proposition. So the people of California, basically what they do is somebody drafts a proposition and the people vote on this and that becomes a law. And it's not the legislators that are enacting this law, it's the people. So somebody comes up with an idea and they put it in, and if everybody likes that idea, it becomes law. And then from that specific law, the government then has to implement it and create regulations regarding the law. And that's where it splits. So the law would say, hey, we need to be informed about products, but it doesn't mean that you go into a small business and now you can sue, kind of thing.
Exactly, exactly. I happen to know a little more about the Proposition 65 because in order to do the event, to host the event, and also in order to do this show today, I've done tons of homework. Right? Homework being that in 1986, California legislature put up a Proposition 65, and a very short one, for the purpose of to protect the drinking water from being contaminated, right? Well, that was, of course, for that environmental protection, it received a huge welcome from the audiences, from the citizens of California. So as a result, they voted yes, let's go for it. So it became law in the year of 1986. Right now, with that, this is exactly where our problem is. Or are, right? So when they are there, and there are people from the different interest groups, look at the law, they find loopholes in it that they can get into, they can stick a hand in, all right? Now that in order to protect drinking water, what else can we do, huh? What else can we do, right? They scratch the paint, oh yeah. The paint will contaminate the water, right? And then the pipe contaminates the water. Oh, there's a screw contaminates the water, right? So on and on, they keep adding the restrictions to the law, which is Proposition 65, until it has totally lost its original color, right? When it started, it was very pure for water, and now it is also almost black. They added what? You know what? How many chemicals? 900, more than, according to Mr. Ken Barnes, director of CALA, California Citizen Against the Lawsuit Abuse, that organization, he's a director. According to him, they have added more than 900 chemicals to the same poor law, which still governs.
Right.
So that is the problem.
Yeah. No, it started off with a small amount. I think it was 27 initial chemicals, which is reasonable, 27. When you add 900, it gets voluminous, the amount of you don't know what's going to cause you cancer or birth defects. And no one, I'm not going to sell a product that's harmful to people.
Yeah.
If I find that I get it off my shelves, I don't want to.
When they started, they focus on lead, L-E-A-D, lead, right? The lead thing. So later on, moves to copper, right? And the lead and the copper, and the aluminum goes on and on and on, and brass, right? So within the 27, okay, reasonable, right? People can cope along with, right? So now you're talking about 900, more than 900 chemicals. If you put them in writing, I tried myself in the font number 12, right? It carries about 24 lines, right? You put one line per, so you're talking about this thick of a printout.
Right.
So who the hell is going to remember all those 900 plus chemicals try to prevent encounter with?
Right.
So that is how crazy the laws are.
It gets to the point, are we going to be regressive? Meaning, let's go back to, and I don't be disrespectful, but the Amish. I mean, meaning, are we going to go back to horse and buggies? Are we going to go back and not have the technology where we advance in technology? There is some risks, but is our benefit outweighing some of the risks of using certain products? That's the basis of where we're at, and it's so confusing for a retailer. You can get cited and attacked, basically a shakedown from anybody saying, "Oh, your product doesn't say this," and they don't know. It's not their proof. You have to disprove that the product doesn't have it. So that's how things happen.
The crazier part, the more crazy part, is that with that hanging, like the what do you call, Damocles sword, right? Business owners are walking on thin ice.
Eggshells.
All right?
And eggshells.
Yeah, they can get drowned, they can get hit either way, both ways, right? Okay, now, the problem is that when they have the attorneys looking around for the problems, you have a product, a pen. What is this? Zinc?
It could be chrome plated. It's chrome plated.
Chrome is one of them.
Yeah, and chrome is one of it too.
Yeah.
Even your keys have brass in them. So a whole set of your keys that you have, all the keys you hold in your hand have brass in them. So to open up your home, they use brass because it's the proper type of key.
To any of those encounters, there's a violation. All right. For a sign, for example, and this is, I probably should do this. I said the pen Jack Chow is using has chrome in it, which believed by California laws can lead to cancer. Right? I should put it here, I guess, so that the audience can see. Right? Otherwise, we get sued for not doing it.
Well, if you hand these pens out to all your friends.
Oh, that's even worse.
So now you're
in each case, I learned from Marianne Maloney, who is the regional director of CALA, Citizens Against the Lawsuit Abuse, that each encounter, each offense, call it offense, each offense worth $2,500
a day.
A day.
A day.
A day. Now, I give you this pen today, right? Today I get a $2,500 fine. Right. And then you use it for seven days when you discover. So you got a times 7.
Right.
And times a month.
Or 10 days is $25,000. And if you just keep, times it by 3, it's $75,000 for the month.
My dear friend, whenever we talk about a issue, it has a limit, right? Anything has a limit. When this issue or certain thing goes beyond the limit, it is wrong. It is totally wrong. We want to eat. We all want to eat. How about if I eat 5 pounds of hamburgers or 50 pounds of hamburgers for one meal? I die. I die what? Gonna die what? I die of overeating. Am I right?
Yeah, or heart
Laws
disease.
are good.
Yes.
Laws are good. When there are so many lies,
Right.
so many laws, though, we die of laws. All right. Okay. Now, my dear friends, with me today is my brother Jew, Mr. Bloom, Bruce Bloom. He is a business owner doing a hardware business. He has been hit with a story, with a very, very sad story to tell. That's why we have him here. So let's take a short moment out. We come back. We will continue. Hello, my dear friends, lovely audience, my dear fellow Californians, I better say. Especially if you happen to be business owners, you are especially welcome back to the show. We're talking about how you want to do business, how you want to survive, how you want to prevent to be hit by those crazy laws, by sued by those crazy attorneys. And there's a PAGA law, which later on we'll talk about. Altogether, we have Proposition 65, we have PAGA laws, we have ADA laws. Those are not three laws, those are three directions, right? Three directions. Like in the battlefield, right? You have enemies coming from the front, you have an enemy coming from this third direction, and to your 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock, and you still have another two coming. So that's the problem. Okay. With me is my friend, Mr. Bruce Bloom. Once again, sir, welcome back.
Thank you.
Okay. He has a very, very, bitter story, right? And bitter story, when he shared at the forum, which was an event 2 days ago called Shakedown Lawsuit, Strangling California, caught people laughing. Why people laugh? Here goes the story. So your story, how were you being hit?
Well, about a couple of years ago, I get an anonymous letter coming in from a law firm that not from my area, so it's from another part of the state of California, saying that someone came in and that the product, and it's these alligator clips, which basically cost me about 90 cents, maybe cost the manufacturer about 50 cents or less. And the reason we got hit with it, if you notice, there's a black and a red insulator. And those insulators basically protect you when dealing with electricity so you don't get shocked.
The plastic insulator.
The plastic insulator. And not knowing to us what the problem was, we then had to deal with the ramifications of what the plastic in this dollar item is going to affect my business. After getting attorneys, so I had to get an attorney. The person who we purchased it from needed to get their attorney. The manufacturer had an attorney, and the person sued. So there were 4 attorneys for a $1 product.
So your attorney, the manufacturer's attorney.
My distributor, the person I bought the product from.
Yeah, your attorney.
Yeah.
Your distributor attorney.
Yes.
And
the manufacturer's attorney.
From upstream, who sold you.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the manufacturer.
And then the manufacturer, and then the person who's suing us. So there's like 4. And there could be more potential.
Defendants.
Yes.
One attorney representing the plaintiff.
Right.
And each of them.
Yes.
So it's a mess.
Yes.
It's a massive war over this item. There's looks to me like
it's an alligator clip. So you
like
can connect water.
Just a clip you can clip on a wire.
Yeah, or terminals
anything.
for electricity. So in essence, you would wear gloves. A reasonable person would wear gloves holding it because you're dealing with electricity. So in essence, you really wouldn't touch the product at all, because you should be wearing gloves.
That belongs to common sense.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Speaking of the common sense, though, Marianne Maloney, the regional director of CALA, Citizens Against the Lawsuit Abuse, told me one outstanding case, that a guy is suing an iron manufacturer for failure to say on the label, said you cannot press your shirt wearing it. So the guy did it, so he is wearing a shirt and press it with an iron and get burned.
Right.
So for that, he sues the manufacturer for failure of saying on the label, saying, I don't know how to say it. I don't even know how to say it. Probably not to press your shirt or dress while
wearing it.
Absolutely. Something like that?
Yes.
Okay, now, for that, well, the manufacturer, of course, lost.
Right.
Lost. So this is the common sense. Number one, this is plastic. You squeeze it, you put it on, that's it.
And that's it. And the time that it would
You
take.
don't hold it for a whole day,
You're not
right?
50 years, 10. You're not sitting there and holding it forever. You're tactically touching it. You're tactically putting it down, and that's it. You walk away, and we're done.
My eyeglasses on my nose.
Every
minute.
Right.
So that's different from that. You pinch it, and you put it on. That's it.
And you walk away and leave it.
You walk away and leave it.
And most of the times, you're not going to touch that product ever again. Unless
the job is done. Let
we're
go.
done,
Something
basically.
like that.
And there's so many products like that.
Oh, in that case, you're talking about the jump starters.
Yes. Same thing.
The jump starting cables are the same thing?
Same thing, because you're just going to press it on the terminals for the battery. This is a smaller version of the cables for your car.
Yeah, exactly.
And so you touch it, you do it, you take it off. You're not going to use it till your battery runs out again.
So you don't wear hardware, you're selling the jump starters.
Yeah, we sell all sorts of, we sell pipes, so for plumbing, all of my pipes have to be labeled.
That's another risk.
Yes.
You're out being sued.
I mean, you walk in my store, basically it's a risk. I mean, we got household chemicals.
It's a gunpowder.
It is. It really. It's not like loaded guns all over. But we have brass. We have copper. We have chemicals for cleaning, chlorine, vinegar. You think innocuous little chemicals, but if you mix them together, it becomes very potent. Again, common sense is. I, as a retailer, cannot think what you're going to do or why am I at risk for how you're going to deal with certain products.
Like you never thought that you will be sued over this.
No, not at all. It was, and for the
not
amount.
Not even in your wildest
dreams. They got a settlement for this, like a lot.
And how did you get that settled?
Well, it went to the manufacturer, and basically the manufacturer settled with the plaintiff for $65,000 for this little product. Not going to court, just to settle it and get off it off their plate.
The manufacturer, in other words, put up the money to buy him out.
To buy him basically out, to say we're not going to go.
To bail him out.
To bail him out, not to proceed this, to go to court. So this is just have all these attorneys just to settle, basically, and say, okay, here's a check, please go away. Well, that's that person. Another person could still come at us for the same product.
In old China, we have this kind of loafers, those kind of street people.
Right.
They hit the silk stores. Stores. Well, in the summertime, they'll all have their counters on the street by the curb or something like that, right? And you know what? They come over, they take a little razor, said, I want to cut myself. For that, I want $100, something like that, for example. So silk, right? White silk, blue silk, whatsoever. And he want to cut himself. He's not beating you.
Right.
He's cutting himself.
But he's going to bleed all over your
Of course, bleed all over your merchandise, right?
Right.
Okay. So, guys said, no, please. No. Okay. Take it.
Here, take it.
Go.
Please, yes.
It looks the same nature of that thing.
Yes, it's a scaled down version of what you just described.
Shakedown.
Shakedown.
It's a
shakedown.
It's a
And then
It's a blackmailing.
yes, there's lots of terminology that you can use, just like, if you talk about organized crimes, same kind of thing.
It sounds like that.
Same, but the attorneys are legal in doing
However,
this.
they are legalized.
Yes.
Right?
To do
That
this.
is the problem.
Yes.
Okay, now it goes to the system. What a crazy system would legalizes that kind of shakedown.
Right. I mean, and it's just for some terms on the back of the packaging that this product can cause cancer. So the package initially didn't have those words. They got sued. They should have gotten some, hey, thank you for informing us.
I don't look at those letters.
And most people do not read.
I don't
and, like you
I
said
don't
with the
look at them
steaming
yet.
guy, the guy with the, because I'll deal with my customers, and I go through explaining it to them because I know they are not going to read the instructions. How to use chemicals for the toilet, for any stop-ups, for the drains, how to use certain products that we have. I normally say to them, do this, and some of them say, oh, thank you very much, because they're not going to read the instructions. I say, on some products, you have to wait 15 to 20 minutes before you wash it out. You turn some warm water, and I say, this product you need warm water, this product you need cold water. So each product has a specific requirement on how to deal. But I know they're not going to read. So I explain the use of the product.
Those are the lessons you learned.
Yes.
Those are lessons you learned.
Right.
Which is good. If all business owners do that,
Right.
Of course, that's a better thing.
Yeah.
I'm talking about this one to label it and say it caused cancer,
Right.
right?
Right.
So, and then you put it there.
Right.
I'm not going to read.
You're not going to read, and the thing is, you need this product to solve a problem that you're currently using. So the thing is, do I fix my television? Well, I mean, it could be used for a number.
Sure.
Do I fix my television? Do I fix the toy for my child? And then you put it in casing to fix because it has a battery and something broke. Do I fix that product for the child or your own self, or I'll just go buy another product. So here, will $2 or $1, dollar with tax with $2, will this product solve my issue? Do I have to now go out and invest
I believe
more
that
money?
the other day, one of the speakers mentioned a big word. The judgment is that all we want to do is one word, common sense.
Right.
2 words, common sense.
Yeah.
Right. So, and that's our judgment. My dear friend, today I call it a very good show because normally when news media is concerned, we're not taking positions. We stay in the middle of the road. At the event, EDI, my company, gets involved. We co-sponsored that event. Right. That indicates we do take a stand in that. We strongly support the call, say, put away to it. So we don't need those kind of laws, right, like that. Okay, my dear friend, with me, Mr. Bruce Bloom. He has more stories. Let's share with his story. And there are other stories we can exchange for, call it entertainment, shall we?
Okay.
All right, good. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
You'll be entertained. Hello, dear friends, lovely audiences. Welcome back to the show. My dear fellow Americans, my dear friend who happen to be business owners, please be welcome back to the show. Because I understand you guys make money, but making money, now I know, it's not easy, right? And you're kind of like, they have to make sure that you not only cover your front, you got to cover your back. You got to cover everything. And there's sometimes from your 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock, there might be something, right? Anyway, so with me today, sharing the information is a friend of mine, Mr. Bruce Bloom. He is a business owner. We're doing hardware business.
Yes.
He was one of the audiences at the event. He was not a panel, neither was him a speaker, but he spoke because he couldn't hold on. He said, I have to speak. And we have about 20, 30 speakers that day.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. That was 2 days ago. The event is entitled Shakedown Lawsuit, Strangling California, co-sponsored by EDI with Kayla. Kayla stands for Citizen Against the Lawsuit Abuse. All right. We have lots of great people. Mr. Ken Barnes from Kayla, from headquarters Kayla, director. And we have Mariam Maloney from regional department, the regional manager. And we have Mr. Mike Easter, who is an expert for Proposition 65, which is the crazy laws we're talking about. So, and with me, Mr. Bloom has brought a lot of stories. There's another.
Well, we had this other
What
product.
story with this one?
Well, basically, what I want to show, this product is a tool belt.
Tool belt.
Tool belt. You know,
for you to
where you put your hammers
I see.
and nuts and bolts and nails into, you know, so that when you're working out, you have your pliers, your screwdrivers. It's all with you.
Tool belt.
And so this would go around your waist. Again, your clothing is on top of this. Okay, and this is 100% cotton. And the terminology on this, that this can cause cancer. Now, this is not going to touch your skin. You're only going to tie this, again.
You tie over your pants, right?
Right. Now, the only thing I can conceive that is they put it on is because of this nylon strap.
Oh, a nylon strap.
That you would just put your hammer. You slide your hammer into this, or the rivets. But it gets to the point is basically how you do business every day, everything's going to cause you some type of.
That means that everything else is okay. The nylon part.
The nylon part.
The nylon part.
And that's basically why they did it. And in fact, they put it causes cancer on all their products. So then you'd have to figure out what component could cause you cancer. And you're again not going to touch this. You're just going to slide your belt, your hammer in there, and then pull your hammer out. And so basically there won't be any skin, you know, if there's a potential, it'd be very insignificant that you just touch it. And the chemical's not going to jump off. It's not wet.
The guys' wives are wearing pantyhose. That's nylon too.
No, yes.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you go down, I'm sure the now have to have all these specific terminologies on all the products to make you aware. But, and it's...
Remember the other day at the event, the lady mentioned her story about a bucket?
A handle, the plastic handle.
The metal bucket.
It was a plastic bucket, metal handle, and then on top of the handle was a handle.
No, metal bucket? Metal bucket.
Yeah.
Metal bucket with a metal
handle.
With a metal handle and with a plastic piece.
Correct.
Right? On it. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing.
And then, but she had to go through extensive amount of work about the handle, just the plastic part. So then they were looking at different, you know, and this is a product, again, for a couple of dollars.
They have to re-outsource the product to get a wooden handle.
Right. because the plastic, she didn't want to have to label all the buckets that she was getting with that was causing cancer. And then again, you don't know what part of the product is the cancer-causing item. So the labeling is getting even more stringent or even more effective. So not only does the terminology that has been done right now, it says these products cause cancer or birth defects. It goes to one step further, is that they're adding the chemical on here. Of those 900 chemicals, as a lay person, meaning I'm not a chemist.
Unless you're a god.
Yeah, I mean, unless I'm a chemist, I wouldn't know what that chemical is. I wouldn't know what that chemical would do over a period of time. But most of these issues are...
at the conference, one audience was asking way of prevention, right? Try to be hit by those chemicals.
Right.
And Mr. Barnes answered it. Not you don't even know, right?
Yeah, you have no
Until
idea.
you are hit
With a lawsuit.
With a lawsuit, you never even know what you
violated, and then what the attorneys do is they're not taking these products to a chem lab to break them down, to analyze it, to find out what chemicals. That is the burden on the manufacturer to say, oh yes, we have this. So they're taking like a shotgun approach and trying to spray out where they're going to get the most impact, and just say, okay, if I send out 100 letters, if I get 10%, and then like my case, it was 65,000.
Exactly.
They make over $500,000.
That whole thing in itself needs a probably 3, 4, 5 years of education. Needs for example, needs a degree.
Right.
All right. Needs a major. Whole thing.
Right.
Let alone people, like regular people, who has no background of chemistry. Do you?
No. I took it when I was in high school, but
neither do I.
I took it momentarily one class. But what they're saying now, or biology, because you have to have chemistry and biology to know how is that going to affect the human body.
Okay, now, well, the reason I'm saying this is that how about immigrants who gets into the country?
Yes.
Well, new society, new surrounding, right? New language, and new law system.
Yes.
And then they are easily hit.
Very much so, because not only is there's a language problem, they don't know the technical components that they're going to, as a business.
Even more difficult to them.
Extremely more difficult. And for us as a business owner, I want to provide a service to my community. I want to, you don't want to just deal with the big box stores. Some people like more close contact with a retailer, that it's family owned, that they want to have some explanation, like I did earlier, that we explain to our customers basically what the products are.
You remember the other day, one of the audiences, my friend Ken Hemming.
Yes.
Right. He asked the panel.
Yes.
About the cases that have been sued.
Yes.
Over the years, though. Any statistics about a discrimination oriented, because he was under the impression that the people come here with a brand new language, brand new system, might encounter an extra difficulties, more difficulties.
Well,
right?
yeah, I mean, they become they become targets. I mean, so if you're an attorney that you're trying to say, how can I win a higher percentage? I'm going to look at disadvantage, and I would say disadvantage. I'm just saying language disadvantage or cultural disadvantage.
Exactly.
And it's not, it's new to you or new to the person coming into the country, whatever language they speak. We're all coming for the American dream
remember what Mr. Barnes' answer was? Yes. Do you recall that? You don't, right?
Oh no.
And do you recall, he says that I don't know if it has any discrimination in there.
Right.
But the names of you check the defendants, right?
Right.
You check their surname, last name. He used their surname. Right. You seldom see somebody say by Mr. Johnson.
Right.
Well, you say Wang, Lee, those Asian names.
Asian names, Hispanic names. I mean, it goes down the litany of different cultures. It's not, that they're targeting a cultural people that are not aware of all of the laws, and it becomes grandiose. In
either way, you tell me if it's not a discrimination.
Right.
However, at least advantages are taken.
Yes, I mean they're being targeted, and you can weigh the scale could tip either way as to basically It could be in discrimination in the sense that they're targeting a certain class of people
Yeah.
for a financial benefit. And they targeted my store, so they're just testing the water as to saying, is this product or these lawsuits going to be beneficial to them? And yes, because in that lawsuit, the state of California got a little bit of money, the defendant got a little bit of money, and I said little. I'm talking about a couple of $1,000s. The lion's share went to the attorney. Now, if I am the defendant, wouldn't I get the lion's share of the money because I'm going to have a health situation, and if that's my claim, I'm going to have a health claim. So why are these attorneys getting 65% of the settlement or more, where the defendant is making
plus cost?
Well, cost,
Oh,
yeah. I mean,
that.
unless they're
plus
doing,
cost, yes.
they can do this pro bono too, where they say, hey, let's just throw all these out here. I'll do it.
Sure.
You'll make a little bit of money, and I make the lion's share. That's not fair, because if you get into a car accident or a law, the defendants make 65%, the attorney makes 25 to 33%. So it's flipped. In these kind of lawsuits, it flips to the attorney, where they're making, this is their business. It's not.
Anyways, bad happens.
Sure.
On one hand, we have bad laws. On the other, people are spoiled by the bad laws.
Yes.
And on the other, if there's a third hand of the clock, good people, business owners who are working so hard to help with the California economy are getting strangled.
Right. I mean, because the amount of money that you have to put out, I can't buy more products. I can't invest in my business.
Exactly.
It's diverting to someone's pocket.
All right, my dear friend, let's take a short break. We come back to continue. Unfortunately, we do not only have a Proposition 65, we have a PAGA laws, right? And we have ADA laws. Putting them together, like I said, we have a 12 o'clock, we have 9 o'clock, we have 3 o'clock. What is back? My wife, home, kids, family, right? So, all right, good. My friend, we'll be right back. Hello, dear friends, lovely audiences. Welcome back to the show, Jack Chow on the East West Show with Jinyi TV. I mean, if you are a business owner, if you happen to be one, or if you want to open a business, right, please pay attention, serious attention to what we're talking about. In California, we have a law system. The whole system is totally unfriendly to business. To their point, we don't need business. We just want everybody getting strangled. That's the business. With me is my friend, Mr. Bruce Bloom. He is a business owner doing hardware. Where's the hardware?
It's in Studio City. It's
Studio City
in Los Angeles.
All right, you're in Burbank, right?
Yeah, close to Burbank. Yes.
Close to Burbank. Okay, very good. And he's been hit not once, not twice, many more times. And he is now to a point that he is sitting on a warehouse of gunpowder. Well, that could explode any moment because he handles thousands of items, small as this, that sells for 75 cents. It's an alligator clip, right? For wire or whatsoever. Because of a little metal piece, the plastic piece for insulation, he's been sued, right? And that thing, this is a tool belt to hang around your waist for your hammer, for your plier, for whatsoever, screwdrivers, so on and so forth, when you are, you're doing your job. So this is sued because there is a little plastic nylon strap, right? So the thing, so on and so forth. So the things are getting even worse, right? Not only do we get this Proposition 65, we have PAGA laws. Right? Private Attorney General Act, right? I never went through the acronym for PAGA until the other day. All of a sudden, I thought to myself, wow, Private Attorney General, which means that everybody can be a Attorney General. Am I right?
Right.
And I can be Attorney General, sue you, and you
I have to respond.
too.
Most of these become where this law is exploding is for your employees, and any infractions that you do in your store that you have to be careful of your employees, it comes off the charts, because then they can act like get a pool of other employees to sue the employer for not having paper towels in the restroom, not hot water, not having alcohol for their hand. I mean, you can take it to, or they didn't have the right break at the right time. If something changed, that you had to shift their break a little later or a little earlier, or their lunch hour had to shift, they can say, this is an infraction. I'm going to sue the employer for certain types of acts that they feel that they've been wronged. So this, and they also can do that for the Prop 65. So so this is like this is an umbrella over all the specific products.
So if we say Proposition 65 are for protections from the environmental point of view,
Correct.
The PAGA laws are from the system or system point of view to protect the employees, quote unquote, protect employees for their holidays or lunch break or work hours or so forth, right?
Yeah. So in this situation, you need to get an attorney. Yeah.
If you are hurt, you as an employee hurt by having late lunch, right? Will you be hurt to have your name wrongly spelled, or your middle initials
on your pay stub? This
on
is
your
all.
pay
It is
stub?
all on your pay stub.
Or a street says Avenue, and you put it in the street.
Right, or the business has an acronym, like IBM or International Business Machine. So how's the business known? Is it known by IBM or International Business Machine? So you can come up and sue and say, hey, I'm wrongfully hurt because my pay stub is not accurate. And it could get down to not having...
But he gets paid.
Yes, he does.
Well, people do get paid.
Yes, but they're looking at infinitesimal little loopholes or a problem that in the bigger scope of things.
They're looking at the problem in a microscope.
Yes.
Right.
Right.
For example, you miss a dot. Right.
Yes.
And you miss a letter or S, instead of Z.
Right.
Right. And street instead of avenue. Right.
Or if the person's name is Bob or Robert,
and
then you use the Bob, and everybody knows him, and no, they know him as Bob, but his formal name is Robert. But on this paycheck you write Bob. He can sue you that it's not Robert's. So you need an attorney to help you through your payroll. You need an attorney, and in a sense, you have to have you need to have things checked out in your business.
I heard from Marianne Maloney, my dear friend from Kayla, the regional director. She says that you're fined not only once, but altogether the pay period times the month times the year.
And they can go retroactive too.
They go retro.
They can go back
in a retrospect way. They go back all the way for many years, as many years as this employee
was working. Yes,
well, working.
But there's transitions too. I mean, there are different times of the laws where the laws keep changing the pay stub. So you have to also, there's regulations that just came in. You have to for part-time employees, full-time employees, work off, excuse me, time off, that they have to be informed about all these specific requirements, kind of thing. So,
My friend Tom Menzo, Timely Frame, doing doors, metal doors, is being hit as we speak right now, and it's for the lunch hours.
yeah,
And he kind of running a flexible schedule.
Right.
Some people clocks in the 5, 6, or 7, 8, or whatsoever. And then husband and wife say, hey, wait for me, we'll eat together.
Right.
And one of them would exceed the 5-hour limit. And for that, he's sued.
yeah.
He's facing $900,000 of a lawsuit.
The absurdity becomes astronomical, because what's going to happen, the people are not. We're going to have a level of inflation, because where do I get, or this person's going to get to pay these? He's going to have to increase his prices. So they're going to have to. So all these lawsuits are basically hitting the small employer to basically raise their prices, and then they go in, well, why are your prices so high? You don't understand the backstory as to why I have to stay in business, or you decide
in the very
to get
end, though. In the very end, though.
Yes.
I mean, the final consumers are being hit.
And it's the consumer that's going to be harmed or hurt, because what happens is you're going to pay higher prices, or that business is going to go out of business. Also,
it's a moral issue. Do you think so?
Yeah.
When everybody sues everybody, do you think you have a healthy society?
No. It then gets to a core of who we are and what things are going as, and saying, hey, the golden rule, do unto others as you want them to do unto you. I want to do well. I'm providing a service, and I want my customers to treat me well, and I want to treat them well. And and just because if we're not doing this, we're going to get into a society where you only have big box stores. They're going to eliminate a lot of the products that everybody likes. And it's like a cookie cutter.
The morality is going down south, and it's still going and going and going, right? I have a friend, David Houston, in Pasadena. He is doing restaurant business. Poor guy being sued. You know for what? Okay. Employees on lunch break, right? On way out, there are customers coming and say, hey, excuse me, sir, where's the restroom for ladies?
Right.
Or where's the ladies' room? Where's the men's room? He or she might turn around, pointing back, say, hey, the second door on the left, something like that. That whole thing, turning around, pointing out, right? All right, takes 3 seconds.
Right.
All right. Over the years, over the time, over the days, the shifts, years and months and the years all together, money, tons of money he's facing.
Right, and then the internet is there, so you get on the internet, people like to type, oh, I got a bad relationship with that employee, and then they hit that business and say, hey, it's affecting their business. So the owner has to say, well, what do I do with that employee? I have to train them and sit them down, explain to them, hey, you can't say those words. You can't act. Be kind. Show them where it is. Walk them down to where the restrooms are. Not to say, hey, I'm on my lunch break. I can't even answer that question, but even though you're an employee.
It looks like we're educating people just totally different way.
Yes.
Right. Not even say a thing. Keep on going.
Right.
I never heard anything. Something like that. Okay. Now. It is, that's why I say it's a moral issue. It's not only a money issue now. It is getting even worse, right? So we're really talking about a problematic, call it that way, California. With me today, my dear friend, we're a little over time, but we really want you to join us in the call for California to reform our law system, right? So with me is my good friend, Mr. Bloom, our hardware business owner, sharing his bitter stories and also his wish to have California laws reformed. So, my dear friend, so much for today. We will be back on the same issue for, over and over again, because we really want to get you involved until things are right.